everyone. Welcome to the She's a 10 times 5 show. I'm Lori, and my friends Lisa, Michelle, Randy, and Marcia are mixing it up and joining me to do what girlfriends do best, chat from the heart. Whether it's celebrity stories or serious topics, we're talking about it and coming in hot. Join us as we bring you the aha moments of learning, reflection, inspiration, and of course, a whole heck of a lot of fun. Let's go. This episode is brought to you by
Dr. Amir Karam, board-certified facial plastic surgeon and founder and creator of the Karam MD Skin Trifecta. It's a 3-step, all-in-one anti-aging routine that helps you defy aging in a very simple way. All right, folks, enjoy the podcast.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, Lori, welcome to She's a 10 times 5 and specifically Soup to Nuts.
I'm the nuts.
You're the nuts, and I cover all the soup. I eat all the soup.
Yeah.
You look very pretty and rosy. I don't know why my camera isn't as friendly to me as yours is to you, but you look very lovely.
Yeah, I like to make love to the camera. No, what's really interesting is, we normally are very casual on our little sessions, but we were told that we need to up our game by studio people. So here I am in my, white button down and, I'm trying to look fly. Yeah, I'm trying to look fly, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I say don't fix what ain't broke, in my opinion, but whatever.
Whatever.
Anyway, let's talk a little soup to nuts. What do you think?
I love it. Let's do it.
Okay. I want to know, this is my soup of the day, Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson, I said in the last episode I was going to talk about her. She is everywhere. She is, first of all, there's a TV show that came out against her wishes about the Tommy Lee and her scandal. Then there is the documentary called Pamela Anderson, A Love Story that her son helped produce.
Yep.
And he seems like an amazing kid in spite of the crazy parent situation. And then her book, she has a memoir out called Love Pamela or something like that. Pamela Anderson, Love Pamela. And I saw where she had written the whole thing herself. She didn't want a ghostwriter, and she spent a whole year doing it. And it made sense if you watch the documentary, did you watch the documentary?
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, because we were in a group chat together and everyone was raving about the doc and I immediately turned it on and it was
good. I mean, it was very, I don't know what the word is. I can't really describe it. There was nothing earth shattering about it, although we learned a lot about her youth, but she loved a journal. And I found that fascinating that she had, from way before she even had an idea she was going to be famous, was journaling and journaling and journaling. So she had a treasure trove for them to use to make this documentary and also to write her book. And I always find that fascinating, people who journal like that and who become such big stars and have all this documentation. It was almost like it was destined, right? I don't know. I find that fascinating.
Are you seeking luxurious pickleball products, services, and amenities that fit your discerning taste? Elevate your game on and off the court with Luxury Pickleball as your source for curated luxury vacations, high-quality designer apparel, bags, products, and coaching with top 10 pros. Luxury Pickleball offers exhilarating high-end vacation experiences in beautiful destinations with exquisite amenities and activities. Aside from our custom-designed pickleball paddles, we also carry brands like Prada, Yola, Phoenix Sportier, Smartwool, Hedge, and many more. Our world-class pros can provide individual or group training at your chosen location. Imagine having a top 10 pro join you and your friends at your next luxury vacation. Luxury Pickleball, quality on and off the court. Let's go.
What I took away from the documentary was, I think growing up with her, you kind of put her in the bimbo category, like box of rocks.
Her perception to the world?
I think so. Like the blonde Marilyn Monroe, bombshell-ish with not a lot of stuff going on upstairs. And I completely got the opposite impression after that documentary. She's very bright, very articulate, and actually pretty damn comfortable in her skin.
Very comfortable in her skin. and very artistic. I think she has a very artistic brain. But she is very comfortable. She owned her role because it was something she felt very proud of her body. She felt very proud of her looks. She knew it was her persona, but yet wasn't embarrassed by it or ashamed of it at all. And I love that, actually.
And I like the fact that throughout a lot of her dialogue and narration, she was, it appeared to be makeup free. She wasn't done totally up at all. Free. She looked like the girl next door.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. She was all natural and wore big baggy clothes. Her mom would say, well, don't you want to wear something else? And she was like, no. I mean, she went all natural, total anti Pamela Anderson image for this documentary. And I don't think it was an act. I think that's who she is every day. And then when she puts her makeup on for all her videos and things she's promoting the book, she looks like she hasn't aged at all.
Yeah.
I mean, she looks really good. Really, really good. And her skin, even her armpits, you know, how we age and we get saggy in areas like that. She's got amazing skin.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the whole? I mean, she was married like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah. Not a good track record.
One for like 10 days.
Yeah.
I mean, she really was a romantic in love to a fault. She is, I should say. I shouldn't talk about her like she's dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she is the personality type that needs to be. It's taken her a while to discover she doesn't need to be in a relationship. I feel like she was kind of jumping from one to the next. I kind of feel like J-Lo's like that personality type where I have to be with my one and only, and it keeps recycling. But towards the end, I found it, spoiler alert, I found it very profound that she's proclaimed her one true love and wished it worked out was Tommy Lee.
Yeah. And I think dredging up all of these memories and going through all that for the documentary probably brought up a lot of emotion because they were clearly crazy for each other. They were crazy. They were nuts, but they were crazy red hot in love. And they didn't end their relationship because they didn't love each other anymore, right? I mean, they ended the relationship because he got physical with her, and and I give her so much credit for walking away from an abusive relationship. And even though she still absolutely loved him, a lot of women don't do that. But that love, I think she always held on to that love. But although she did say, I don't think I could be with anyone else or love as anyone else as much as I love him or loved him, but I also don't know if I could be with him. So she knows that being with him isn't going to fix anything. It's just a love she's never been able to let go of. It'll always be that one true love.
Yeah. Well, I look at it like they were lightning in a bottle, and it was when you put lightning in a bottle and that intensity of love, eventually the bottle is going to break.
Yeah. And there was a lot of pressure on them. I mean, they were let's look back. That was when in the 90s when paparazzi was at its height. No one had cell phones, so no one was taking pictures. So paparazzi had all the control, and they were literally driving these people crazy. I mean, look what happened to Britney. Look what happened to Lindsay Lohan. Look what happened to their lives were they were hunted like dogs, or foxes. It was a hard time to be a celebrity and be that big. I think worse than now. I mean, now anyone can take a picture, but we're used to it now. And it also took the power away from the paparazzi by everyone having a camera in their hand.
Yeah.
Hey, you just reminded me of a nuts thing I want to talk about too. But what I was going to say about Pamela is how great she looked, and the pressure of being this image all the time, your whole life, when you're known for being a bombshell, and then you have to keep that up. Let's talk about those that are still doing that, like Madonna. Okay. What is going on there? It's nuts.
It is nuts. And here's the problem. And I was talking to someone who has been very opposed to any type of neurotoxins, Botox, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And finally he's getting to the place where, oh my God, I don't know if I can take it anymore, even though I'm opposed to it. And I said to this woman, I said, just watch it. It's a slippery slope. And you can get nuts with all of that. And look, my philosophy is you do what you need to do to make yourself feel good, both inside and out.
Right.
But I am extraordinarily opposed to doing it to the extent that you become unrecognizable. And she is at the point where I would walk down the street, I would not know that was Madonna.
She's a caricature. She looks like she was drawn in a cartoon and then put on her face. I mean, listen, to each his own. If that's what's making her happy, I just find it hard to believe that that extreme look is truly, was she really going for that? And to think that she has endless resources, that makes you think she was going for that. I mean, how do you accidentally end up that way? Unless it's intentional, right?
Yeah.
And that's another problem. You know, these famous people, doctors, their bubble around them never says no to them, right? I mean, because they want to be the one that worked on Madonna. They want to be the one that was Michael Jackson's doctor. They are surrounded by yes people. So there's no one there to just say, you might want to rethink that, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, Paulina Porizkova.
Yes.
She did a great Instagram post about this that blew up and took kind of a measured approach on it. Like,
yep.
You know, keep the standards the same with the dialogue. But I do think that we've come into a place societally where I think we can push things too far. And this is a situation where I look at someone that my natural inclination is unhappiness. If you have to go to the extent where you are surgically filler injections and even a filter. We've talked about a couple people that use filters to the extent that you see them in person, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I just think I think there are boundaries that we need to keep in place. And I think I think it's a slippery slope and it's dangerous.
Yeah, I agree. So if you're not following Paulina Porizkova, to remind you who she was the model of the 80s. She was the face of Estee Lauder for years. She was on multiple Sports Illustrated covers. You would recognize her if you don't know who she is the minute you looked her up. She is all about women aging and that conversation, whether you are plastic surgery or not. She has opted not. But I think it's interesting that it comes from a perspective of someone who their whole career has been in front of a camera and looking beautiful to have this conversation, and ageism and how the woman, 50 plus woman, has disappeared because they don't fit into the model of marketing and selling ads and all of those things. And she's tackled it beautifully. And I highly recommend you follow her. And she talks about this. She said, Madonna might not be your person, whether you love her or you hate her. Aging in public as a public figure is incredibly difficult, and everyone has to choose their lane. And she's choosing her lane, and she's owning her lane, and she's shutting down shamers who are shaming her for the way she looks and saying, this is me and this is what I want. And I guess Paulina's take is, you know, good for her, because that's her choice, and no one can. And we're in an age where you're supposed to look beautiful and perfect, but you're not supposed to work that hard to do it. It's supposed to be effortless. And she's saying, no, it's not effortless, and owning it. And I kind of agree with her in that regard, that,
cool. So we're coming off an episode with Kim Alexis, and I did ask a very provocative question. We all have a hard time with aging. I don't care who you are. It's not for the weak of heart.
No, it's not.
And we do what we can. And unfortunately, now we have social media, and now we have the memories that come up. And when you see yourself differently, it's hard to swallow sometimes. So I asked her, is it compounded when you've been on 500 magazine covers? Do you feel added pressure, or is it more difficult because you have those tear sheets that you can go back and look on from a psychological standpoint? And she emphatically said no. You know, she's someone that hasn't done any Botox, no plastic surgery. She feels the aging woman is a beautiful thing and she embraces it, and go to hell if you can't take it.
Right.
So, you know, I think there's both sides of the podium here. And
absolutely. I bottom line, there's no right answer. It's all a personal thing. It's what makes you feel good. Do it. It might not be what societal norm appreciates, but if that's what makes you happy, I guess, you know.
Well, Kim, Alexis, and Paulina still look rocking hot.
No, they look amazing.
No, I do my tweaks. I know you do too. We do little bits here and there as needed. But I'm standing with hard no if you change your appearance to the degree that you can't recognize the person you once were.
I agree. Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah. So, okay. One final thing I want to talk about, only because by the time this airs, and then if we do it a next time, it'll be far too gone. This really is nuts. We have brought up J-Lo and Ben multiple times.
Oh, we're obsessed.
We're obsessed. Well, the world is obsessed. I mean, they're on everything. Oh boy, did you see that video of them at the Grammys? It's like a clickbait everywhere of them sitting, and he whispers in her ear, and then she reprimands him and does something to his shirt, and he had a pissed off, don't want to be here look on his face they show multiple clips of him throughout the night, and he's like this. I mean, Stevie Wonder is playing the best music in the world, and he's like this. And so she kind of reprimands him and then looks, and the camera's right on her. And she's like, and then she does this fake laugh to try to act like it wasn't
everything's okay. Yeah.
And everything's okay. It was painful to watch. It was, and then I had heard another video where she was questioning what he had in his drink at her movie release party. And I don't think it's all sunshine and rainbows there. And it's got to be hard to have that going on when every camera is on you every minute and capturing those moments. It's like, oh, yeah, that's a bummer.
What's really interesting to me is, again, I think they're lightning in a bottle. I think they're so very different in so many ways. I think he's very intellectual. I'm sure, she's obviously a very smart woman, but I think he comes from a different sensibility. And I got to think, without a few drinks, those types of things, events, whatnot, are brutal for him. Right. I don't want to be here. I think if you give him a couple cocktails, I think he might loosen up or whatever. But he just seemed very stiff and like a fish out of water.
Oh, total fish out of water. I mean, yeah. But then you contrast that with Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman. She's not a musician, but she goes on his arm, and she is the most amazing partner in the audience and dancing and supporting. And, she's a class act, but and a different person. But so I mean, you can be a fish out of water and still show support for your spouse. And I think that shows a level of, I don't know, selfishness or something that you can't fake it. Come on. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. We talked about this offline, and I think there was a reason why they broke up. I mean, I'm all for reunions and whatnot, but when it's been like 20 years and then, we're back together, I don't know. I think those same problems and fractures and differences probably still exist.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. So, well, this was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Good topics. Very good topics. By the time everyone hears this, Super Bowl will be over. So we'll see what happens there. And I'm excited to hash up on that. And have a good week, Lori.
You too, Lise. Okay,
all
gang.
Right. Well, have a good one. It was good chatting with you, and see you next week.
See you next week, baby.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. Follow us on Instagram at She's a 10 times 5. You can click on the link in our bio to listen to all of our previous episodes, as well as check out our live video interviews over our YouTube channel. You can also find us on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, pretty much wherever else you decide to listen to your favorite podcast. Don't forget to hit subscribe.